So what was the first one, if you can share, like the first one that you were closing, the one that was most easy for you to win?
So I think the first one was not the most easy one to win, but it was the only one that we had access to. I think the easy ones to win are the ones. Oh no, you want to talk about the first one or what is an easy one to win?
Maybe you can start with what was the first one that you could win, the first ICP you got into?
I think the first one in retrospect was actually the wrong, but it was right enough that it helped us to improve the product. But it was a big industrial facility where they had some innovation budget. They liked the robot, but they had no actual need. And we kind of just obsessed about the robot needs to patrol every day and needs to check if your door is open. And they're like, yeah, we just want to test it. So it was great for us. We got paid. We did a few things, but it was not the one that really helped us shape what is important. That was like the second or the third one where the really said, guys, no, I want the robot should drive all the time. It should detect what I see and you should do this fast. And I want a continuous live stream. These are the things I want. Then I pay you otherwise. And I think if you get to that clarity, that's beautiful. Probably the first one will not be like this. Maybe they just like you, they're doing some innovation. But if you find someone that that really only allows you to move forward when you achieve the targets, that's perfect. And this is now how we structure all our deployments and pilots. So we always say, we don't start unless you exactly define what success means, what do we need to achieve to hit this, and what your dream is. And we then agree that we need to hit the first two parts to move forward. And we already know what that would mean. Otherwise, we're not going to test with you. Because if you don't have this clarity and you just always then obsess about dream, I want that robot can do this and that, you just get stuck in this pilot purgatory and you don't really scale.
Yeah, I like you said, like never compromise on value, right? Because that's the one thing that decides whether you're gonna stick to the company or not. And I like that. I mean, hindsight, we're always smarter, right? We say the first ICP was the obvious one. I mean, not the right one.
Correct.
How did you know then that it was the right one, like later on?
I think it's a mix between, I would probably say three things are important to evaluate for ICPs, right? One is if these people are actually willing to pay. That's very important. The second is they need some sort of urgency. They need to get it done. They need some pressure. If they don't have that, it's probably not the right, because a good market, or like a good client for us is also a client that closes fast. Yes, some clients, it took them 2 years to close. We still like them, but it's not the one we're actively hunting. We want to get the clients that move fast because we can learn and we can make the product so much better. Like our product has massively improved over the last 12 months, 6 months. Like it continuously improves. Getting clients now fast is super important. So they pay, they need to be fast. And the third, it needs to make sense, because there are certain companies that have so much cash. They can move fast and they have capital, but they haven't really figured out why. And you should stay away from it because it might give you some money, but it doesn't help you to actually solve the problem. Like I'm giving the example again with this laser scanner company that comes to you. They flew in engineers to attach this extremely expensive sensor. Super interesting for us, but it was not the right thing.
It's also a risk because it's like a dependency that you have if you don't deliver the main value. And I would also say when they have so much money, it's great at the moment, but in the future, we know economics can change. Where would they start cutting costs, right? But like, I think the point that you mentioned resonates so well, because what I also see a lot of companies I run with is that 5 criteria. It's the pain that you said, right, that we meet. Then I would say the market potential as well. So this means, are they investing in automation? Are they open to robots and automation? How many sites do they have? Is it also scalable?
Yeah.
Then of course, the deployment part, like how easy is it to deploy a robot? Can you do, like, if you manage in one site, can you then do all the other sites as well? And then of course the buying center complexity. So you want to know how complex is your budget and how many people are in the buying center? Can you have a clear champion who has the budget? Do you have some maybe safety people include? So, but also I would say the budget question itself. So is it like CapEx versus OpEx? Where does the budget sit? How long are sales cycles, and go to market access as well, which you mentioned earlier? Do you already have some customers in there as a reference? Can you sell directly or through partners? So these points, and I think you mentioned, I think like all of them, that then define a bit whether you should go into that ICP or not.
And you always have to remain focused.